Hello and welcome. I'm Blair Blackwell, and this is the Daily Cyber Brief. Here's today's rundown of the biggest cybersecurity stories you need to know today. Good morning. This is the Daily Cyber Brief for Thursday, December 11th, 2025. Here are the forces moving the security landscape today. A busy patch cycle with active exploitation, a wave of social engineering campaigns riding on AI brands, and continued pressure on critical infrastructure. We start with vulnerabilities and patches. Microsoft closed out the year with fixes for 56 flaws across Windows and related products, including one already exploited and 2 additional 0 days, so expect attention on prioritization. CISA added a WinRAR flaw to its known exploited list, a path traversal bug that can lead to code execution and is under active attack. Researchers also flagged SOPown, an issue in the .NET framework that enables file writes and possible remote code execution via rogue WSDL files, with impacts noted in products like Barracuda Service Center RMM, Ivanti Endpoint Manager, and Umbraco 8, and likely beyond. And at the hardware layer, 3 weaknesses in the PCIe Integrity and Data Encryption Protocol for PCIe 5.0 and newer expose local attackers to faulty data handling, a reminder that encryption in transit on the bus is still maturing. On the campaign front, adversaries are co-opting AI brands and search to deliver malware. Bleeping Computer reports a macOS infostealer operation using Google Ads and shared ChatGPT and Grok guides to lure users into installing the AMOS stealer. Dark Reading describes a click-fix-style twist that blends search poisoning with legitimate AI domains to drop payloads. A new phishing kit, dubbed Spider-Man, is cloning European banking and crypto sites with high-fidelity pages. Meanwhile, Storm 0249, an initial access broker, has been observed abusing endpoint detection tools and native Windows utilities to stay quiet while moving with precision. Turning to mobile and web applications, a new Android threat called DroidLock can lock devices for ransom, wipe data, and reach into messages, call logs, contacts, and audio. React to Shell, the maximum severity flaw in React server components, continues to be heavily exploited to deliver crypto miners and fresh malware families, including a Linux backdoor called Peerblight and a reverse proxy tunnel named Cow Tunnel. Supply chain exposure is also in view, with over 10,000 Docker Hub images reportedly leaking sensitive information, from production credentials and CI and database access to large language model keys. The UK's NCSC is warning that misunderstanding a new class of AI vulnerabilities could lead to large-scale breaches, a signal to treat AI app security as its own discipline. Critical infrastructure remains a pressure point. Federal officials say pro-Russia hacktivists are targeting U.S. systems by compromising remote VNC access in operational technology networks. So far, impacts have been limited, but the tradecraft is evolving. In a related legal development, a Ukrainian national has been charged for aiding Russian state-backed hacktivist groups in attacks on water systems, election systems, and nuclear facilities worldwide. For collaboration security, Microsoft is preparing a Teams capability that will flag suspicious traffic to external domains to help administrators surface potential threats. Who should care and why? Windows-managed enterprises and public sector agencies face an immediate patching cycle, with added urgency around a widely used archiver under active attack. Developers running .NET and modern JavaScript stacks, especially React server components, should expect more probing and opportunistic exploitation. Mac-heavy organizations and consumer-facing brands may see increases in infostealer activity driven by AI-themed lures. Financial services in Europe are in the crosshairs of tailored phishing. Cloud-native teams and manufacturers should revisit how secrets are handled in images and build systems. And operators of OT networks should assume more interest in remote access paths like VNC. Looking ahead, monitor adoption of Microsoft's December fixes and watch for follow-on exploitation where patching lags, particularly for the WinRAR bug. Expect continued SEO poisoning and AI brand abuse in social engineering, as well as ongoing React to Shell activity delivering commodity miners and new backdoors. Hardware and protocol-level PCIe issues are likely to generate guidance from vendors. No other major advisories beyond these since the last session. What I'll be watching today: patch velocity for Microsoft platforms and whether the WinRAR exploitation expands, EDR evasion and abuse by initial access brokers, AI-themed lures targeting macOS and banking users, exposure from leaked credentials in public container images, and VNC-based probing of OT networks tied to hacktivist activity. The takeaway: it's a classic end-of-year mix. A heavy patch window alongside adaptable social engineering and steady pressure on OT and cloud edges. Security teams face a busy cycle, but the playbook is familiar. That's it for today's edition of the Daily Cyber Brief. Thanks for listening. I'm Blair Blackwell. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not cybersecurity, legal, or financial advice.